Now we're going to talk about the fourth question. The fourth question is going to be when. Our key text for this question is Matthew chapter 7 from verse 24 to 29. This is the passage about the wise and the foolish builders. And without insulting you, we would like to ask the question, are you going to be either wise or foolish about the training that you have just currently received? And in thinking about this, I'm assuming your answer is you want to be wise about what you've received. And the way to do that is to be intentional about the training that we've received. And we want to be intentional in three areas. The first area is praying. The second area is sharing. And the third area is gathering. When we think about praying, earlier we had talked about two elements of the people that we want to reach, both the people and the places that we frequent. And in the Bible we see that God tells us to pray for the harvest. And so we want to begin by being intentional about when we are going to pray for the people and the places that we are trying to reach. And so right now, let's think about a time that we will be intentional about praying for the people and the places that we want to share the gospel. You could say, for example, is it going to be at 7 a.m. or whatever time in the day that you decide. So take a moment right now and write down a time where you will be intentional about praying for the people that you want to share with and praying about the places that you're going to go and share the gospel. The second thing that we want to be intentional about is when we are going to share. Of course, the answer to that is we'll share anytime we have an opportunity. And so we're not saying that, you can't share at any time. We want you to share at any time that the Spirit leads. But in addition to that, we need to be intentional about setting aside a time when we will be intentionally trying to reach out to these people and going to these places for the specific purpose of sharing. So think about what day and what time would you be able to actually go out and share with others? In your schedule, when do you have an opening, or when can you create an opening when you will share with others? So think about when you would be doing that on a weekly basis. Finally, let's talk about gathering. Before we do that, let me go back and say that in sharing, you don't have to do this by yourself. The pattern that we have in the Bible is going 2 by 2. So maybe even think about who can you go out with? Who can you partner with in your sharing time? And then last, the other thing we want to be intentional about is gathering. And you might ask, well, who am I gathering? Well, if we look at number 2, you're out sharing. And when you do share, we pray that you will meet people who come to faith, and you'll meet others who are also believers. As you share with people, as you go to different places, when you meet believers or people that come to faith, you want to gather them so that they will come to you and you will be able to do with them a 4 questions training. That will be the purpose for you gathering them. Today you've learned these 4 questions, and it would be the first thing that you want to share with these people that you'll gather. So in gathering them, you could share with them what, who, why, and when. So take a moment to think about a date that you'll be able to do a 4 questions training with these individuals. Would it be maybe a month from now? Or whenever you determine. And the intention and purpose of this is to get them together and share with them what you learned today. To close this session off, we're going to close it with a time of prayer. Find somebody who you can share with what you've just come out with in this particular training. Write down the time that you intend to be praying, write down the day and time that you intend to share, and write down the date that you intend to gather people. Additionally, we had earlier talked about a list of people and places that you'd like to reach out to. Use this list and get with somebody and ask them to pray for you about this particular intentions that you have of reaching out and sharing with people.